Yeah, Metal Gear Solid don't got anything on this. Prepare for a trip. Uh, don't mind the tier list back here. This is for like I don't know what it's for. Really, I'll figure out as we go. It won't be based on quality of the games at all because like I I am not a game critic. I'm not a game reviewer. I'm kind of bad at them, honestly. But here we go. So, how do I put this? Um, well, let's start simple. Like, let's find the original Mega Man right here, right? So, you know, uh, maybe I'll rank him on like human ethics that just get more questionable as we go along. So we'll put Mega Man in B tier, right? It kind of deserves to be there because yeah, Dr. Light violates some, morality code. The morality of giving a robot sentience but not free will. I'm going to just put it in like B tier. That's like it's morally questionable. I mean, there's the other robots that are also there. That's also morally fucking questionable, but it kind of just it can sit there. Just, just yeah, Mega Man, the main Mega Man line is usually around like usually around like a B tier. It's right in the middle of moral questionability. Um, that being said, I think like of all the morally questionable games, uh, here. Oh, that's X2. There's regular. Wait, that's X3. Fuck. Where there's X. Okay. We're gonna just put this in S tier. Okay. So the original Mega Man series is like a dick measuring contest between Dr. Light and Dr. Wily. That's kind of it. So like, you know, giving robots sentience to just prove that you're a better roboticist. That's pretty like messed up, I guess. Uh, Making a surrogate son that can like copy other robots' powers by fucking destroying them is a bit weird. I'm not going to lie, but it can just sit right there. Yeah, it's fine. But Mega Man X, on the other hand, where do I begin? It's like, hmm. So, there is a third doctor, because we just never run out of mad fucking scientists around here, ever. Uh, a third scientist called Dr. Kane, and, um, how do I describe what he does? Uh, Basically, he he finds the last remaining, you know, last remaining Dr. Light project, which is Mega Man X, right? And look, Mega Man X has like full sentience. It has full free will. It can just murk people. Uh, which, that alone probably earns an A tier. But then Dr. Kane comes along and is like, oh god, look at this little guy. This guy went over like so many diagnostic procedures and shit and like was carefully made. What if we just mass produce them? Oh god, where am I going? Anyway, Dr. Kane goes like, yeah, this little pet project, like this little son, I get what is a child? Is it like Dr. Light's misplaced parental instincts? This God, Dr. Light's a sad motherfucker. So Dr. Kane looks at this fully sentient, fully autonomous being and is like, what if we made a race of these? What if we made 1 billion of them? And thus hundreds of years of conflict were made. Hundreds. I'm not even talking about just the Maverick Boys. I'm talking about all the way down. It's just this all the way down. God. Imagine being the dickhead who causes billions to die. We'll get to that later. By the way. So yeah. That's Megaman X. So basically, the entire Megaman X series is about how Kane can't perform diagnostics when he made an entire fucking race. And basically, Dr. Wily comes back into the picture. As like, yeah, I made my last pet project too, cause why not? Which ends up being Zero, which we'll get to that character later. And Zero ends up having robot rabies. I don't know how else to put it. It's like really it's not explained any other way other than, oh yeah, so this robot Reploid, we're calling them Reploids because really they're not even robots anymore. They're just there. They're just metal people. So these Reploids can contract fucking the Maverick virus and go rogue and kill all humans because, like, we're at this point now. Why the fuck did it? Why? Why did it come to this? It didn't have to come to this. We could have, like, stopped at here. Like, this was bad enough. You didn't have to be worse. So, yeah, the Maverick virus is basically just robot rabies made form. And then it turns out that robot rabies has like a persona called Sigma balls, aka it actually that pun works better in Japanese because it's Shiguma is the name in Japanese. So, Shiga on my balls. I've been wanting to make that pun all day. Laugh. All right. So, uh, uh, yeah. Sigma shows up, corrupts everything, ruins everything, fucks your mom, keeps coming. He's worse than Dr. Riley about just blatantly just coming back somehow. Like, Dr. Riley is a bit. He's like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. And like, Sigma is like kind of the same way, but Sigma just doesn't give a fuck. Ah, I am like immaterial. You'll never fucking kill me. I guess. Uh, he gets killed later on. Let's go next. All right, sorry about that. Let's continue. Uh, so we end up in like the Zero series after all the X games. I don't count X7 and X8. Those are tragedies, not video games. Anyway, Zero C, Zero C, Zero ZZs, Zero CZ series. Why can't I speak? Please. So the Zero series happens. It's quite a gap between, the two. It's like kinda it's like 100-ish years gap between X series. We don't get like an actual solid timeline for any of this shit other than 20XX or stuff like that. So we end up in 22XX. How do I put this gently? So Genocide 2 happens, and 90% of the Reploids from, last series are just dead, and 60% of humanity? Funny platformer shoot game. So basically the Reploids and the humans try to find like a cure for the Maverick virus. And what ends up happening is like, yeah, the Maverick virus gets straight up wiped out. But then enter asshole scientist number 4, Dr. Weil. It's like Dr. Riley, but worse somehow. Dr. Weil, God, what a freaking character. Dr. Weil ends up poisoning a dark elf for whatever goddamn reason. And dark elf goes rogue, and it can control all those Reploids because reasons. And so yeah, a lot of people die for no fucking reason. Dr. Wile's just kind of an asshole to be an asshole. It's like Dr. Wily but competent. He's not wasting his time like making robot after robot after robot, even though he does make a robot, but it doesn't make like the 80 that like Dr. Riley makes, which is like terrifying to think about what kind of mass destruction Dr. Riley could have made if he just like stuck to one really good robot. I mean, Basic exists. I haven't even mentioned Base. Oh god, I haven't even mentioned Base. They're they're like they're like retroactively made into the series. They're like Zero, but a Sonic OC. Oh yeah, my guy is like my guy's like he's like Zero, but black. Um, and also a musical pun. Yeah, that's one of the weird things about the Mega Man series. It's like the classics just have so many like musical puns and shit, and like that's pretty. I find it pretty quirky and neat. It's pretty funny. The other games don't. They have a different naming convention called we learned Pig Latin in middle school. Carpuria honest Ladonis. God. At least it's not like ZX, where the main villain is named Serpent and their corporation is Slither. I hate that. God, I hate that. Okay. So back to where I was. Uh, while he causes the Dark Elf to exist, and fucks everything up. Worse than like the other three scientists somehow. Somehow, I don't get how, because we have like objectively evil scientists after evil scientists in this series. We got another one. So yeah, Lyle does that, and then he how how do I like describe happens? Protag Mega Man X, Lud X, John X. Uh, he has to go and defeat the Dark Elf. Sacrifices himself, basically encases the Dark Elf in his own body and shit. Because that's where we're at, apparently. Um, so that guy's just dead, kinda. He's a ghost. There's ghosts now. They just fully have a soul. The replicates just have a soul. There's just a cyber soul. we somehow we go further each entry. Like maybe I'll put like Zero series in like the C tier, just because like you know, go, what's happening in the afterlife? What what what's happening in the afterlife? Honestly, like genocide on a genocide tier list, this would be on top. This would be far on top. This would like eclipse the others. Uh, so Zero. eventually gets woken back up after like being in stasis and being studying and shit. Uh Basically Zero was the or was basically the origin of the Dark Elf. He kinda just got studied a lot and then some. Oh god, we really. Well, don't worry, it's not evil science. It's regular science. Followed by evil science. We You know what? We should really just like monitor the ethics of scientists more. Maybe that's the message of this whole series. I get it now. Uh, the ethics of technology. So, Zero gets waken up. He's like a corpse, but then some cyber elf just goes, that's the name of the soul of the sentient fucking machines. Wait, mach- the Mechanicus was right. There's just machine souls. Uh, so he gets revived, and he just immediately starts like he saw a woman and was immediately like, I will kill everything in front of me. Zero's the ultimate simp. Don't let anyone tell you anything else. Don't listen to them. So that leads to 4 fucking games. Where just it gets more and more depressing. Because yeah, the guy in, John X uh gets copied like nearly 1 for 1 by a 14-year-old with like a bachelor's degree. I guess same girl who gets like rescued by Zero, right? Same girl. So uh but apparently like the copy X doesn't have like all the experience and shit that like John X had. So he becomes an evil fucking fascist dictator with like an apartheid hatred of 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 the Reploids. What the fuck did I just say? So Zero goes and like he has to stop that shit, right? He runs up, pulls up on Copy X and's like, you're a bitch. Unlike John X, who he has like no memory of, really. So that's pretty cool. Imagine like imagine just like forgetting everything you know, having a friend in your past life, and like some asshole tries to copy his flow, and you go, you're nothing like him. I don't even know him, but you're nothing like him. Ah, where? So these are the games I know the most because uh, they're from my childhood. I grew up on this game. I had a very rough childhood. This game's fucking tough. Dear God, is this game tough? Like, wherever there's a turn that says easier difficulty or mind-blowingly tough, this game chooses the latter. I played it recently, and Yeah, it still kicks my ass. It got hands. It got hands. So Z- 02, member of the Resistance, uh, goes batshit insane. The dark and goes after the Dark Elf. You know, you have to destroy the body of John X to get the Dark Elf, and then like you take all that and then evil shit happens, but then Zero's there, and Zero manages to save the day because it's Zero, and he always saves the day. Little white knight bitch. I love it. I God, I have such a crush on Zero. It's not even fair. Um, yeah, because like he's just the goodest boy. Zero's just the goodest boy. He just does. He's so cute. It's adorable. He's the goodest boy. The Yeah, Axel edgy. I have a soft spot for edgy characters that like end up having little hearts of gold. Like it's just my thing. Like Zero's the epitome of just like acting cool, but like you still care about your 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 power of friendship. Okay, so C2 happens. They name drop Omega, and then Zero goes off to fight fucking Omega. Omega being like the ultimate goal of Dr. Weil. When he created the Dark Elf, he came up with this plan to create the ultimate being ever to just take over all of existence. And so he made this like he made like the body and like kind of the mind, and basically Omega turns out to be just the original body of Zero. Let me explain. Um, so apparently during that research, like all that research and shit, uh, Zero just got like body swapped. I guess they don't really explain it very well either. I suppose when like they made the Dark Elf, like Zero became a Cyber Elf too, I guess. And so they kind of just kept the body for research? Maybe? It really doesn't make sense, and I'm trying my best. Because, like, Zero still fights in the Elf Wars, I think. Right? Right? He he's still there. So what I just said would be just wrong. Maybe he just got beyond repair at some point, or Wild just you know what? I'm just gonna say Wild just yoinked that shit. He just stole that shit. He just went, fuck it. I'm taking your body. I I guess. So Omega turns out to be Zero, but you know, the body of Zero. Which has to be like a bit harrowing to find out that like, oh, wow, someone someone took my corpse and they're using my corpse as a doomsday weapon. Totally nonsensical. I don't even know where to begin how that would feel. So Dr. Wall pulls a shit. You defeat yourself. Cause why not? We're just at that point. Yeah, there's at least like a couple of times where you defeat yourself. Like in the OG Mega Man, Dr. Wild goes into the future, doesn't like learn anything, and just like steals Mega Man, turns him evil, and brings him back. Just brings him back in time. Go fight yourself, nerd. Um, so where are we? Right. 03 happens, and then 04 happens, which is sad and tragic, and I feel bad. But this red little robot, this red little guy, you know, just dies. Just dies during it. Also, the spirit of John X dies during like 03. I'm just putting that in there. Your childhood is like dead if you grew up in the 90s with those games. I grew up in the 2000s with these games. My childhood is also dead. Because Dr. Wow makes like a giant fuck off laser. Cause why not? Space laser. Uh and then some madman goes like, damn, I really hate like all these people. So the dystopia I mentioned in like a bit ago, like run by Copyx, that gets blown the fuck up. 20 million people just die. Genocide number 3. Just genocide number 3. Because why not? But then like Zero's like, damn, I we can't let this go on, right? We have to like destroy the shit. So he blows up the reactor for the space laser, and then it just falls. It just falls to the ground, and Zero goes down with the ship. And then the final scene is just like a shattered helmet of Mega Man Zero. I and then we cry. We cry, guys. There's nothing but pain here. Uh, so you know, after 04, things kind of settle down. Kinda. We take like a 200-year gap instead of like our usual 100 years and genocide later to the ZX series, which I'm going to be real. Uh, not not much happens in the ZX series. Like, uh, I I I actually like these games. A lot of people don't. Uh, But like, okay, the girl from Mega Man Zero, you who fucking genius, Seal, uh, ends up making a bunch of biometals, which is like they're kind of sentient. They're not even really robots though. They are. They're kind of like just AI. Oh god, how do I describe a biometal? It's like a. It's a transfer. We're off to like Super Sentai range, right? It's Super Sentai where you can just power up exactly like exactly like a magical girl. Again, this is the Super Sentai Mega Man. Uh, basically, Seal makes the biometals, and then like some the asshole that I mentioned way earlier. Goddamn serpent slither dot io. Uh, they are like, yeah, we found a doomsday device. Let's push the button. We gotta push the button. We we must sacrifice like uh, a billion elf souls, and we must make something. I don't fucking know. Kind of vague. It's like conquer the world, kinda. It's kind of like Poochie that I want to remake the universe, I guess. Oh god, is Serpent like Mega Man Poochie? That's a scary thought to think of. Uh, so we end up with like just a couple battles and shit and like some world conquering plans. The sequel is just like grr Mega Men go at it, and like it's the thing, right? I'll say I'm going to put on D. Yeah, I'm moving up to D tier morality because like making little Super Sentai, your Super Sentai transformations, like, sentient, is a bit weird, not gonna lie. But it could be worse. We, it could be worse. So, uh, yeah, that's kind of where, like, Mega Man, the main timeline just leaves off. Though there are two timelines. Oh god. Um, luckily they're insular. They don't connect at all, really. Uh, the Battle Network timeline. Uh, where are we? Oh god. There's other games I have to cover, kinda. Yeah, before we get into that, we're just gonna do Mega Man Legends. That'll also go in like F tier. It's like uh the planet just gets flooded, and like the Reploids and humans both band together and like combine into one race to stop the race wars. I'm gonna need a moment to like internally process that. This inspired me to make this video, by the way, because it's just that goofy. Mm. We can't be racist if we're like one race. Fuck it. Biomechanical fucking. Clank, clank, clank. How did any of that occur? I don't know. We probably just fucked the robots. So, yeah, Mega Man Legends happens. Uh, the One Piece is made. There's just a One Piece here somewhere, and you kick puppies in this game, and it's perfectly fine in Japan. Well, in Japan, in Japanese release, you can just kick puppies. Because why not? You can break vending machines and stuff like that. You can just be a dick. Just be a dick. The game. One Piece is real, blah blah blah. There's like a band of merry pirates that go after all of that. Oh boy. Back to the timeline split. I don't know how to explain the timeline split at all. But uh see all this is the Virgin Incel timeline where Dr. Light just found it easier to make a child by making one, like as in just just actually physically building a child is easier than this man to get pussy. The Battle Network timeline is like, I'm gonna put it in C tier, honestly, because he just makes sentient.xe's files. That's a bit wacky. It's a bit absurd. But I'd say it's like less bad than like, you know, making robots have feelings because like in Mega Man, those robots have to like do basic household chores and shit. And you're just making people suffer there. I hate you, Dr. Light. You gave intelligence to them so they could like have morality and they could burn down forests, but they could feel the moral consequences of their actions. I hate you, Dr. Light. But here's the timeline where like Dr. Light isn't a virgin and can actually like make a kid. There's like, God, how many Battle Network games are there? There's a ton. There's a couple spin-offs, 6 mainline games. Who cares? uh, Star Force. I'm not even going to go into the plot of that one. It's just a continuation of the Battle Network timeline. There's space now. They're going to space. I'm tired. This this game's lore breaks me. See you guys later.